Oh, welcome to a layout update. And I've started work on the fiddle yard. I've built the baseboard at the moment. It is just 6mm MDF with 34x34, the same as what the chassis and the main unit is. So that's going to sit on there like that. I've left a small gap, probably a slightly bigger gap than that I actually need, but I will be putting a board along there to hide the fiddle yard. And I have these are some like metal dowels, precision dowels that I want to just drill in, and so it can actually lock, well, it won't lock the board in place, but it'll position it so when the tracks will all nicely line up. So I'm going to need to just unscrew this and then just clamp it to the front of there and just sort of drill through using a 7.5mm drill bit. These are 8mm dowels, so I'm going to just get that going now and let you have a look at how that goes. Right, as you can see, I've removed the piece. I don't need to be really too precise, it just needs to be roughly as equal as possible, so I'm going to do it. So we're just over 7.5 inches, so I'm going to make it easy and just do like 2 inches this end and then 2 inches this end, and then I roughly need to do it just in the middle of this. Well, that one's not quite where I got my measurement on that one. Should we do that? Actually, the first mark wasn't that far off, so really you should measure twice, cut once. That's what everybody always says. But sometimes I just do this by eye. So I'm just going to drill through the whole, both pieces, so we've got enough to make. And that one wandered a little bit, but not to worry. So it'll only go on one way. So now you can see we've got one's for female and male sections. So right, I'm just going to tap these dowels and socket just into place, and to do that I would suggest that you put the socket on this side. You just want to tap until it's nicely flat and flush. There we go. Now we just need to put these onto the piece of wood, and then we can screw it back onto the fiddle yard. So I'm just going to just make sure which way round this will go. And it should be that way round. Something not lining up there. Right, that's why. See, that's the side drilled. That's the so I need to make sure that I put them on to this side here. And that goes on nice firm. So it's a nice secure fit. Right, as you can see, this is a nice good fit now. So and it just clips in. Just got to put in a bit of paint on this surface, and I can place the side back on, and then we've got sort of a hidden fiddle yard. So I'm going to get all this prepared, ready for the tracks. I'm just going to be using just a bit of grey paint, which is on this one is pure grey. It doesn't really matter what colour. I prefer to just use like a darkish colour, and the idea is I always sort of use a PVA glue to glue the tracks down. So if I want to remove them again, you just got to wet the surface, lift it up, and it comes up easy without actually damaging the MDF board. So I'm going to get this painted, and we can then start laying the tracks once it's dry. I just hope I've got enough paint. So I'm going to continue finishing this off, and then we can start getting the tracks down. Oh, the paint is all nicely dried. I've got a good covering on that. I did 2 coats of this. I'm just starting to roughly lay a track plan out, and as you can see, I want to have just one set of points there. So if you want to come back out and onto this siding, it will do. That will have a very long siding across there, so it means that we can come across, back in that way, or out that way, and then back in. And also I was thinking I may put another set of points in here, so I can actually join it up just onto here like that. And then that would give me an option to move the wagons in and out. I have a very limited amount of wagons, so I can only put a few on the layout at any one time. So the idea is, it's like I'm just sort of giving a rough idea of where I want the track to be. Then I'm going to make some pieces just for the ends, which if they ever get damaged, it's easy enough to take up then. And then I'm going to sort of get everything else fixed down. So I'm just going to get these pieces on the end done, and then I can start getting the rest of the layout done. I am going to put some point motors on here, possibly, but I will fix them underneath the board, so I'm going to drill the holes before I actually fix all the points. So that's another job to do once I've got the sort of the layout roughly how I want it. So I'm going to cut some tracks and get the first pieces laid out. I just thought I'd let you, before we finish on this, I can let you see how I did the board joining. So that all fits in really nicely and is a very snug tight fit. So, but I will need to put a clamp on the one of the sides just to hold it together, because you don't want it to move in between. I've put the side piece on there, and that all fits nice. And I've also made a front for the layout here. I'm going to look at doing controls on the front and the back of the layout. So I was thinking of putting a control box on here as well, but I think that'll be at a later date. So, but I'm going to get these first pieces of track done, and then then we can see how it's going. Okay, I now have all the track how I like it. I've still got to let this piece glue in yet. I've just decided on how I was going to do that. So I need to make all the holes for all the point motors. I've decided I'm going to use the seat motors again for underneath, and I may look at building this into some sort of layout, but I'll probably leave it as just the fiddle yard. So there's actually more points on the fiddle yard than there is on the actual layout. There's only 3 points on the layout, and I've got 4 points on here. I've used good old set track points to maximise the space. As you can see, I've got some quite good sidings there, and they are good length. So you've got 12, so it's at least 15 inches. You've got at least, I don't know, 13 inches there. Obviously this one's a lot shorter, but the main two, so you can have 2 good sized trains come in, reverse back into the goods, and you could even then come all the way back out here, down there, and then back in. That was the plan. I've left this one here so you can at least shunt a few wagons in and out the goods area, so it looks like that's being used. Right, so I'm going to need to just mark all these holes. So I need to remember it's on the edges of with end gauge, not in the middle like double O gauge. So I need to just make sure that I put a pen mark all the way through just these holes there. And I'm going to do them, I think, probably on this side, because I think we've got a piece, yeah, the 34mm runs along there, so if I put the point motor there, I'm not going to get it in, so I'm going to put them all this side just to be nice and even. So I'm going to get these marked and then drilled, and then I can start gluing this all down. I've just used the 15mm drill bit to just cut through these. I just need to now just tidy the holes up a little bit, and then just put a small bit of grey paint around all the holes. Right, as you can see, it's all nice and dried, and I just need to cut all this back up. I didn't take it all apart, I just took really just a small section, disconnected it up. to be struggling a little bit there. I think that's all in. Normally just double check, just make sure she's using a magnifying glass. So the worst thing you want to do is glue it all down and then find out one of the fish plates hasn't gone in properly. And they all look okay to me. And you just want to make sure that the holes all line up with, and so they all line up nice. And I've just got this one last point to fit in here. I've got a couple of pieces of track to put onto there. Not sure where that piece has gone. That's just there. It's really a small piece, that one is. So I've got that one to fit in there. This one to just get secured onto here. And then we can actually, I can really start to get this glued down. But I need to just make sure it's all in the right place first. Right, I've got every piece of track down. I've got made sure that there's no silly gaps or anything like that. It all looks good. I've checked all the, oh, there we go. I'll just recheck that. So what I normally do is you can either use what I just knocked there, it's like, so I just use this for checking another piece of track. So yeah, that's about correct. Let me just double check this one. Also good to just look all the way down, just to make sure everything is straight before you put all the glue down. But obviously it's only PVA glue. If you do make a mistake, you can just put a bit of water on and then get it all up. I'm just going to use some, it's not a strong PVA glue, this one. I use a really strong glue just on these ends. Obviously they is going to take most of the wear and tear of being lifted up, so I've just got a PVA glue and I just tend to just run that all the way down the middle of the sleepers, and what this does, it then seeps all the way inside. It doesn't matter if you put a bit too much on or you get a bit on the tracks, because you're going to need to clean everything. Just don't go overboard on the points. You only need to just put it on the, just where the pins would be if you was going to tack them in. Yeah, I'm going to put a bit of heavier duty glue on the end there. I've got on the track there, so I'm just going to wipe it off with my finger. Then I just run it along so it drops below the sleepers. So it pushes it through the track and into the sleepers and onto the track bed, but it is quite ruddy, so it'll just find its own place anyway. and then you need to just weight that down. So I tend to, let me just fix that in with a bit of, oh no, I haven't got the glue here, but I'm going to redo that a little bit, just, and then need to make sure it's fully aligned up. But all I do is weight these down, just use some food tins. I'm going to need to get a couple more, leave that for 24 hours and it'll be all nice and solid. And you can drill your holes for the all the wires, and then really that's the fiddle yard almost complete. I want to put a power connector on the fiddle yard so I can use it independent as well, because I want to use it for testing locos, as these are nice set track points. So I want to prove that locos can go over set track points. Okay, we'll have a look at this when it's all dried, and just and I can show you how it really looks then. I'll see you in 24 hours. Okay, everything is all dry now, 24 hours later, and everything is nicely secure. There's no movement. All the points work perfectly fine. I've not got any glue on those. Everything runs over without any problems. I did check this before. I did meant to say that. Always check and double check. Just in case there's any problems, but everything is working. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one.